Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading. And thank you for subscribing to the latest edition of the 12 Kyle podcast. I'm your boy, 12 Kyle. And listen, we got a special guest. My man, he really needs no introduction, but I'm going to introduce him anyway, man. This young cat is one of the brightest young podcasters out here. He's a good friend of the show. He's been on the podcast before. You do remember, if you don't remember, go back and listen. We did a podcast where we broke down the top 20 hip hop producers of all time. And when I say that he ruffled a lot of feathers just with his list, he did, and I did too. But nonetheless, I have with me on this edition of the 12 Kyle podcast, the solo podcaster of the Struggle Plate podcast, my man, NorthSide Doug. Doug, what up?
Kyle, what up, man? Look, we back. We back here. We ruffling more feathers. What we doing? What we doing?
This is what we doing. This is what we doing, man. Good to have you back on the podcast, man.
Always. Thank you again for having me.
Oh man, anytime, man. You know, me and you, and we've been doing this for a minute. So just to bring people up to speed as to what we're going to talk about on this podcast, maybe about 2 months ago, we were on Twitter, kicking it, and we were talking about hip hop, and we were talking about the years of or the better years in hip hop, or what have you. And I said something about 1996 and its greatness. And you were like, yeah, 1996 was cool, but it ain't messing with 98. And I was like, Doug. Young buck, young fella, young man, young brother. You are clearly mistaken. So we went back and forth. And I said, well, hey, you know, if you want to come on the pod, you know, because Twitter is only 240 characters. There's not a lot of space for us to go back and forth and debate. So I said, well, hey, if you want to come on the podcast, we can get on my podcast and talk about it. He was like, all right, set it up. So, you know, a couple months passed and here we are. And so what we're going to do a versus. So it's going to be 1996 represented by me and 1998 represented by Doug. And what we're going to do is Doug's going to we're going to do these songs, the best songs that we picked from those respective years. And we're going to do songs, and then we're going to do albums. So it's a versus battle. Anything you want to say before we get started, Doug?
Hey, man, look, I'm going to just tell it to you like this, man. All right, look, I know my shit. I know what I'm talking about, and I ain't scared. That's all I got to say. You know, and if I remember correctly, because Kyle, I remember us going back and forth on Twitter, and then I also remember first bringing it up when you were on my podcast, the Struggle Plate podcast. You know what I'm saying? And I just said I'm a 98 guy. Kyle interrupted my whole train of thought. You know, he wanted to turn my end of the year show into a 98 versus 96 show. I'm like, hey.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's right. You're right. It was the end of the year, end of the 2021 show. Yep.
Yeah, you know, I have Kyle and the good homie J Boog, you know, on the shows, you know, for big milestone moments with the pod. And, you know, Kyle was just like, easy, young man, easy. And I was just like, hold on, old soul. All right. Hold on, old school. But now I'm ready, man. I'm ready.
Okay,
98 was a great year for me. You know, that's all.
Okay.
You know,
all right.
We'll see. We'll just let the music do the talking.
Yeah, we'll let the music do the talking. So, how we're gonna go? Do you have yours? So we'll start with the songs, right? Do you have yours ranked, or you just got 10 random ass songs?
I actually ranked them.
Okay, perfect. So, what I want you to do with your songs, you start at 10. And then you give me your number 10, and I go to my number 10, and you give me your number 9, and we'll go like that all the way down with the songs. So without further ado, hey, let's get this versus cracking. Let's get it cracking.
Hey. Am I going first?
Yes. Hey man, the guest always goes first.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's very kind of you. So coming in at number 10, Big Pun, a man who is in my top 5 with Still Not a Play.
That's a pretty good song. Pretty good, to quote my man LD Larry David. Yeah, that's a dope joint, man. Big Pun is rest in peace, incredible MC.
Yes.
So yeah, I that's a great song. I have no beef with that. My number 10 comes from one of the greatest MCs ever to breathe on a mic. His name is Nas, and I'm going with The Message.
Oh,
number 10, The Message.
Okay. All right. Okay, Kyle. We doing this. We doing this. All right. So, number 9. We're going down to the dirty, the dirties of 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 the South. Juvenile, back that ass up.
Now you want to talk about a Southern anthem?
Ratchet classic.
Oh, no question. No question. I mean, who doesn't know Cash Money Records making money, taking over in the 99 and the 2000s? Yeah, back that ass up. That's a jam. That's a jam. No beef there. For my number 9, I'm going to leave the South and take it up north. All the way live from 215. All the way live from 215. All the way live from 215. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 9 song, What They Do, by the legendary Roots Crew. What you got to say about that?
I'm surprised you actually went Roots on me. You know, I thought we were doing top 10 best songs from 96.
I mean,
it's all right. It's all right. It's your choice. It's your choice. It's your choice.
Pure banger. Pure banger. Pure banger.
It's a fire song. I will not deny that.
From a fire group.
Oh man, I feel like I'm winning. I can't lie.
You're not.
I can't lie, man. I feel like I'm begging you over the heads with hits, but so I'm gonna keep going with hits, right? So number 8. If you want to stay up north, then let's just stay up north. All right, and let's go to a man who is a hit maker. He goes by the name of NORE, with the greatest posse cut of all time, banned from TV. What's up?
That's a great joint. It's not the greatest posse cut, but it's
see, look, you about to start another podcast. Look at you.
I mean, come on, man. I mean, is it better than the symphony? Is it better than the scenario? No, it's not. Ooh. But I will say this. I mean,
I fell asleep the minute you said symphony. I'm sorry.
No, don't go to sleep, because the symphony is why we're here. If there was no symphony, we wouldn't be here. Yeah, I love that joint, man. Love that joint. Me and some of my boys, we go back and forth about who had the better verse on that joint. I mean, when he said choking niggas like I'm Spreewell, I mean, like that was dope, because
that was an iconic line.
That was right at the time where Spreewell had choked out PJ Carlissimo, the basketball coach for the Golden State Warriors at the time. Latrell Sprewell, basketball player. Great pick. Great pick. My number 8 pick My number 8 pick, y'all, for the songs from 96 is a song that is a jam. And I'll be honest, I don't know all the words. And it's not that I don't know all the words because I'm just not cool, because I'm cool. But I don't know all the words because I don't know what the hell they saying. All I know is they said something about sipping on my red dye. I didn't know what on my red dye was, but this is it. Lucchini, Falling from the Sky. Yes, I am talking about Camp Lowe's Lucchini. This is it. That's my number 8 song.
That's a great song, by the way. I just want to point that out. It is a great song. It is a timeless song. It ages perfectly so well. Did you know that that beat was made for Hove? Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
But he passed. I wonder what he passed on it for. Or he just passed on it.
Yeah, just passed on it. You know, we hear these stories all the times about artists passing up on beats and whatnot.
So let me guess, was that produced by Ski?
I believe so.
I can look it up. But
fun fact about that song, man, that was like that. The first time I heard that, I was about 14 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really, really in the thick of this hip hop shit. You know, Napster was out. You know, I know you don't know about that. You know, Kyle. I know you got the tapes. You know what I'm saying? The crates.
How you think I made my CDs, man?
And all that stuff. You know. And I remember hearing that beat, and I had some homeboys who rapped, and they had that beat on loop for like an hour, just doing a whole cipher over that shit. And I was like, I wasn't rapping, I wasn't spitting, you know. I was like, ooh, y'all got that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, great song.
Okay.
Great song.
All right. You on number 7? What you got?
Number 7, LOX, Money, Power, Respect. Come on, man. I feel like I'm winning.
You're not. You're on the ropes, but you're all right.
Oh, I'm on the ropes?
You're hanging in there. You're hanging in there. You're not getting blown out just yet. That's a great, man. Man, listen. When that came out, I mean, this was during that East Coast wave, man. I mean, like, this was everything. Like when this would come on in the club, you had everybody was on the floor. It was like nobody standing on the side or nothing. Because I was in the club at this time. Yeah, man, I love this joint, and it's still
98, Kyle.
To this 98, bro. I was wide open. I was like Randy Moss on the fade, baby. I was wide open. Wasn't married, no kids, no nothing. Just young cat in Atlanta with a pocket full of money, trying to make it. Trying to find my way. All right, so I'm on 7, right? Okay. Whew. This one right here, man. Legendary group, legendary producer, who's not a member of the group. Number 7 comes from De La Soul, and the song "Stakes is High."
Oh.
See, look at your face. Look at your face.
To that. I was just listening to that song.
Yeah, because it's still jams. Because I got nothing but jams over here. Now I don't know what you got over there, but I got nothing but the jams over here. So this joint right here, produced by the legendary, you can see it right here on my camera.
Look,
Jay Dilla. You see the book.
Dilla time.
Yes, sir. Love this joint, man. De La Soul. I mean, there's a lot I can say about this album, but I may be talking about it a little later. I'm not sure. But yeah, this joint is still cold to this day. So yeah, that's my number 7.
Oh man, Kyle, I could go so many ways, right? Because you see, I was
Yeah,
ready for you.
You got plenty of ways you can go, but you better go the right way.
Oh, because I love Stakes is High, right?
I know you do.
I was, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. For those who haven't heard me before, I'm a 30-year-old young man. You know what I'm saying? I just got hip to Daylight about 3 or 4 years ago. But one group that I was always hip to, that people like Kyle, Sean, Kill, all my 40 plus and up crowd. You know what I'm saying? These guys were superheroes to y'all, and they go by the name of Public Enemy. Okay.
Hey.
And the song that I got is He Got Game. Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing here? All right.
I'm surprised that this made your list.
You see.
I'm surprised.
The reason why is because the soundtrack, right? From the movie He Got Game.
He Got Game, right?
It was the first Denzel movie that I remember watching. And
you didn't see Malcolm X?
It's the first one I remember.
I forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, Doug he's young.
I was about to say 98. I was 7 years old.
Okay, so there you go.
And 98, I just remember
98, I was outside.
Yeah, exactly. You were outside. I was too busy sneaking around.
You was inside
trying to figure out why Ray Allen is, blowing the back out of these white girls in a college dorm, on TV. I didn't understand what was going on. But then once I heard the song, it was just like, oh man, this is infectious. And it's Public Enemy at the end of the day. Right? It is PE at their finest.
Mm-hmm.
And it's one of those songs that I always listen to walking to school.
Okay. That's cool.
College, by the way, I just want to point that out there. I know, right. Kyle, you've been listening to it, when you got the Cracker Jack box, what I'm saying, that you pulled it out the little CD,
Hey, man, listen. Yeah, that joint, man, it was well placed in the movie. I'm a little, like I said, I'm surprised you picked that one. I know it's probably on the rest of your list. I'm surprised that this made the list, but that's cool. That's cool. That's a good pull, I guess.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I just can't wait to see yours. Honestly.
You gonna see it
because I really feel like I'm with it. But I digress.
He got game. You ain't winning.
You giving me something from the Roots crew. All right. Let's go.
My number 6, a posse cut. This one really had the streets talking. And in the song, this young lady breaks down in her verse some numbers that just don't add up. But nonetheless, the streets, we tried to figure out, we couldn't figure it out. Nonetheless, I'm talking about at number 6, Affirmative Action. Nas featuring Cormega, AZ, and Fox Boogie Brown.
This is amazing. I can't believe you put that there. I like the song. These are all. I love all the songs that you're making.
You gonna love every song that I name.
I like this song. I don't know about love, but I like it.
You gonna like every song that I name. So yeah. So yeah, Affirmative Action. That was my joint.
Who wrote that Foxy verse? Let me stop.
She did. She wrote it. Yeah, she wrote it. Foxy wrote her shit.
Okay.
Okay. Don't do that.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't been around for a long time, but I've been around long enough. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do that. Foxy wrote her stuff. Dude.
Oh shit.
All right, you at 5.
All right, so we're cracking into the top 5. So that means we got bangers and heaters only, right?
I would hope.
Number 5. This is the song that, what can I say about this song? This is a song that definitely changed the landscape of things for hip hop, right? That put this artist in a different light, per se. Let him know that he could compete with the others, right? Because there was question, but he rose to the occasion. He goes by the name of Sean Carter. Jay-Z, H to the Izzo, you know, and the song that I have that cracked the top 5, Hard Knock Life. I still feel like I'm winning. I still feel like I'm winning.
I'm glad you feel that way.
You know, but it's all right.
That is a great song. That was the song that, you know, propelled Hove, you know, to the next level as far as you know, record sales. It was a very poppy, you know, song, but I mean, who would have thought to add the Annie anthem, if you will, and you know, Hove spitting these ghetto rhymes. So I'm with you. I'm with you.
This was a song that, this is one of the earliest, again, this is one of the earliest hip hop songs that I remember hearing as a kid. This song was constantly played on the radio over and over and and over again.
Very catchy. Yeah. And I mean, like, once, you're right, it got a lot of radio play, got a lot of video play. So no, I'm not mad. That's a good one for number 5.
Here you go. Look,
man, this almost ain't even fair.
Here you go. Come on, man. What you got?
This almost ain't even fair. I'll just say the chorus. Come with me. Hail Mary, nigga, run quick, see. What do we have here now? Do you want to ride or die? Da, 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 da. Come on, man. Hail Mary, Tupac. I mean, in the court of public opinion, if you pick a Tupac song, you're probably going to win. That's not why I picked the song. It's a dope ass song, but Tupac, 1996, obviously the last year that he was, you know, on this earth, he gave us a lot of smoke, man. I mean, like, he was one of the biggest rap stars, period, without question. And this song right here, even to this day, still knocks and people still jam to it. So yeah, my number 5, Hail Mary, Tupac. I see you over there taking notes. Now, for those of you listening, if you're not watching on YouTube, Doug is over here. He's taking notes. I don't know why he's writing stuff down. Maybe he's still trying to figure it out. But
nah, man, I'm like LeBron during the you know, while he was picking the All-Stars. You know what I'm saying? I'm just getting my LeBron on right now. I just need my clipboard.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know,
if you don't have it together by now, I don't know if you will.
Oh no, I got it, young sir. I got it, young sir. Right, let's not get it twisted.
You at 4.
Let's not get it twisted, because at 4, right, we're doing legends at this point. Like, if they're not automatic legends, then what are we even here for? You know what I'm saying? If we're not doing legends, if we're not doing bona fide hits and bona fide classics, then why are we here? You know, because this song was also catchy. But it bended genres, right? Because we're bending genres at this point, Kyle. We're bending.
Are we, or are you?
No, we are. You may not feel like you're a part of the collective right now, but we are bending genres at this point. And I am going to bend genres right now with Lauryn Hill. Doo-wop, that thing. Come on, man. What? I feel like I'm winning again. I'll only give you one with the Hail Mary. That was good. But it wasn't. But this one right here, come on.
I mean, really, what you're no, I'll talk about that in a minute because I know where this is going, but let me just speak on the song.
Okay.
Dope song, dope album. It's not a hip hop album. It's an R&B. It's a neo soul R&B album, but that we're not here for that. But love Lauryn Hill, man. You get no argument from me. That song should definitely be on list. I'm kind of surprised that you got it at 4 because a lot of people might have it a little higher. But hey, it's all good. It's all good. So I'm interested. I'm pretty much kind of got mapped out in my head what will be your top 3. You said we're talking legends. So
yes.
I think it's fitting that you said legends because I mean, really, I've been giving you legends. Let's see. I mean, with the exception of Camp Low, I've given you legends all the way up to this point. So, anyway, more legends on the way. I got to bring it here to the hometown. This song is one of the dopest songs that came out in 1996. I'm talking about Outcasts, Elevators, Me and You, Your Mama and Your Cousin Too. Come on, man. Come on, man. And to be honest, Doug, there are some people that would have this at 1.
Yeah, there's a little Atlanta bias.
I mean, I don't.
But those are the Atlanta bias ones, that have that 1.
When I don't have to claim that I'm winning because everybody knows. But
don't know about that one, guy. But I love you, Kyle. I love you to death. I love you. I love you, but you're wrong. But so now we're in top 3 land. How about
some hardcore?
Huh?
That ain't in your top 3, I hope. How about some hardcore?
Number 3, this is arguably, no, it is. It's Tupac's biggest posthumous song ever. Probably because, like after we heard this song, after we heard the Greatest Hits album, which came out in 98, right? There were some new songs that were put on this album, right? In 98. Look, I do my homework, okay? And it changes. Tupac changes.
Wow.
Top 3, man.
I'm surprised that this is in the top 3.
Okay.
Great song, but not top 3 worthy. But Pac is my guy, so I'm a little biased. And just for the record, I hope that Doug, and I know I'm a little bit ahead of myself, but I hope that Doug does not put that Greatest Hits album on his albums list because most of the hits on that album came from the albums that came out in 96.
Oh, I got something for you. Don't trip.
So he would actually be scoring for me. But yeah, great song. Man, listen, my number 3 joint. There's a couple of different ways I could have went with just from this album alone. I could have gone with the poppy joint. I could have gone with the street joint. I could have gone with the hit him over the head and the club joint, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep it to the joint that I loved on here. And with this song right here, we got a glimpse of what could have been. My number 3. If Faye had twins, she probably have 2 Pacs. Get it? 2 Pacs. I'm talking Brooklyn's finest, Jay-Z, featuring the Notorious B.I.G. Rest in peace.
Fair enough.
Classic. Again, from this album, I could have went with Ain't No. And people that know me know that Ain't No, I don't even like Ain't No. But that was the jam. That was the hit. That was the thing that propelled the album. I could have went with the hit you over the head. I could have gone with the street banger, but no, I went with the joint that I love. I mean, I could have gone Dead Presidents if I wanted to, but I'm taking it easy on Doug right now, you guys. I'm being nice. One of my boys said, matter of fact, Jay Boog told me, she said, hey, take it easy. So yeah, for my number 3, Brooklyn's Finest, Jay-Z featuring Notorious B.I.G. All right, Doug, we're at 2.
Number 2. It's funny, right? Because it's like you think you're making headway, but like, I just don't know what's going on. Maybe, by the time when my eyesight, gets a little blurry when I'm your age or something, I can see what it is that you're seeing right now because I see that I'm winning at this point. You know what I'm saying? So, therefore, top 2. The 2 men, we have an impeccable voice and arguably the greatest producer of all time. Gangstar, Moments of Truth. Come on, man. Come on.
Did you say Moments of Truth?
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Let's go with number 1. I mean. Oh well, you still at 2.
Moments of Truth is good. Well, you know what it is? I see what you did. You picked the joint that you like.
Oh.
But I think when people see this, because we're gonna put it up, like the verses. So we're gonna have it on a thing, and people, maybe put up a Twitter poll and let people vote if they so choose to. Really good song.
Iconic song.
Moment of Truth. I just off the songs at the top of my now, just me off the top of my head, I couldn't put this in my top 10.
See,
but that's just me. But again, Doug is younger, so maybe he was jumping at this when he was in high school. I don't know. Number 2, I could have, and I've kind of been back and forth between my number 1 and my number 2. Both are dominated the pop charts, dominated black charts, MTV, BET, all any and everywhere. So radio, black radio, white radio. So I was going back and forth as far as which one should be number 1, which one should be number 2. All right. Number 2, an anthem for the West Coast. California Love, Tupac with Roger Troutman and Dr. Dre.
Now, the original version was put out in 98, right? Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Couldn't have been because the song came out in 96.
No, but like the version that everybody hears and loves, from the music video. Never mind, Kyle.
But a video would have come out in 96.
Yeah, the video came out in 96, but we didn't actually get to hear that. I'm pretty sure we didn't actually get to hear that video version till the Greatest Hits album, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong because the video version was on the video,
but it wasn't on the album.
But it didn't have to be on the album.
All right.
Even the song, or you can go with the song, the video version or the album version. Either way, it's cold as hell, and everybody rides.
It's a great song. Everybody has to.
Yeah,
I danced to it.
Number 2, I could have had it at number 1. Mm-hmm. But I mean,
mm-hmm.
I got bangers over here, man. That's what I got. I can only give you what I got.
Okay. That's
all right. So you're at 1, man. What you got?
Oh, it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy for me.
Mm-hmm.
Rough Riders Anthem.
There you go. Now you're talking. You had me a little scared there for a second, though.
Oh, you thought I was gonna leave it out?
Bro, you had Moment of Truth at number 2, so I don't know what I didn't know you was coming with Steelo's greatest hits or something. I didn't know.
Look,
I didn't know if you had a mod back in the day or something. I didn't know what you had, man.
I knew number 2 would be a wild card, but definitely Rough Riders Anthem.
And that's why I kind of paused when you said Money, Power, Respect, because personally, I'd have Money, Power, Respect probably in the top 3. But it's yours.
We'll get into the overall list.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
My
number one comes as no surprise. Another banger, chart topper, and overall jam. We're talking "If I Rule the World," Nas featuring L Boogie, Lauryn Hill, coming in at number one.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair, and that's great.
It's fair.
All right. So for those of you scoring at home, this is what we got. Doug has Still Not a Player for his number 10. His number 9, Back That Ass Up. Number 8, Banned from TV. Number 7, Money, Power, Respect. Number 6, don't laugh, He Got Game. Number 5, Hard Knock Life. Number 4, Doo Wop, That Thing. Number 3, Changes. Number 2.
Yo, you being disrespectful right now.
Okay, my bad.
No, you being disrespectful.
Let me be professional. Number 2, Moment of Truth. And number 1, Rough Riders Anthem. Over on this side right here, my side, the fly side, we got The Message, What They Do, Lucchini, Stakes is High, Affirmative Action, Hail Mary, Elevators, number 3, Brooklyn's Finest, number 2, California Love, and number 1, If I Rule the World. All right, man. All right, here we go. Now let's go albums.
So we ranking albums again?
Yeah, we're gonna do the albums. We're gonna do the albums.
Doubt. Let's do it.
So Doug is gonna with same format. Doug, this is verses right here. Again, this for those of you just tuning in. This is 1998 versus 1997. You have 30-year-old Doug in this corner. Young whippersnapper out of the city of Chicago.
Yes, sir.
Over here you got 12 Kyle, the 49-year-old old head veteran, hip hop enthusiast from Atlanta, GA. New school versus old school. Young Thundercat versus old head. I'm interested because here's my theory on, and you didn't really prove my theory with your songs, but I think 98's albums are extremely top heavy. And so I think at probably 5 or 6, you're going to run out of gas. Wherein I think mine 98 is just banger after banger after banger after banger. Just, when you try to bob and weave, it just bang you again. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is why we do it. Okay, so same format. Start with number 10, and we're gonna break it down. So what you got at number 10 album from 1998?
It's funny that you said it's top heavy, but I'll let that slide.
Because it's true.
Okay. Number 10. Juvenile, 400 Degrees. I mean, like, Back That Ass Up. Ha. Welcome to the Nolia. Like, let's be real for a second, though. Everybody knows that Juvie was the man before, like, Wayne had to, like, take the crown from him once Juvie started running out of gas, Let's just be real for a second. There was a point where he was the hottest rapper.
Oh, no question. Out of the crew. Yeah, definitely.
Out of the crew. And like, all my folks from down south, some would say that he was the hottest rapper in the game.
I wouldn't say that. But...
I'm not going to go that far.
He was hot. He was hot, though. He was hot.
He was hot. He was everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And it was because of people like Outkast is what helped Juvenile, be recognized up in New York, which was very hard to do at that time.
Thanks.
But 400 Degrees, come on now.
Yeah, that was a dope album. I bought that myself.
Wide open.
You get no argument from me. Oh yeah, it was wide open. I was riding down 285, bumping that joint.
Yes,
yeah, it was. And really, I think that album helped nationally, especially regionally first, and then nationally, put the Cash Money sound on, on notice for everybody. Put it on the map. And at that time, Master P and No Limit, their sound was kind of everywhere. And once Manny Fresh hit and Juvenile hit with this album, it really catapulted, Cash Money into another level. And subsequently, I think, gave a huge blow to their, homeboys from the same city in No Limit. So good pick, Douglas. You're off to a good start. Number 10 for me. Wow. What can I say? She was one of the hottest rappers, period, in 1996. Male or female. And she had bars and she wrote her own raps and she was just dope as hell. I am talking about the debut album from Fox Brown. Fox Boogie Brown. I'm talking Il Nana. Man, listen. When I tell you, when that joint came out, everybody had it. Okay. Everybody had it.
So I wasn't outside.
You weren't outside. No, these albums. Now, most of these albums you may not even heard of because you were.
Oh, now you being disrespectful. see, now you sounded like the old niggas in the barbershop.
You was in the house watching after school specials. So it's no fault of yours. I mean, your parents just hadn't had sex yet. That's okay. But we do give your parents credit because your dad, introduced you to hip hop because he thought he didn't want you to become an Eminem fan. You said you liked Eminem and he was determined that you wasn't going to
be. Yeah, the white folks done robbed us from all of our kind of music, and I'll be damned if I. Yes, I know.
Yeah, great story. I crack up every time I hear that story. What you got at number 9?
Number 9, which, by the way, I want to say, I could throw Pac's greatest hits on there, but I ain't gonna do that.
You'd probably lose because more than half of his. Because you got to remember, Doug.
Right.
That
it was only like his. It was only like three new songs.
Yeah, 3 new songs.
It was like changes.
So you would basically qualify him on 3 new songs because the rest of those songs, the rest of those songs on the album had already been out, and a lot of them came from the album that I'm gonna name.
Yeah, I know. We know. It better be in there. Like, Lord Jesus, I hope you would put it in there. All right. So number 9, let's go with Gangstar, Moment of Truth.
Back to Gangstar, huh?
I be forgetting with your little slick shit, man. You having a little stuff to say, man. Come on. My skis. Moment of Truth.
Yes.
Robin Hood Theory. Above the Clouds.
Above the Clouds. Crazy. I love that album, man. I'm just messing with you. I love that album. It's I'm trying to think where I rank it. It's one of my favorite Gangstar albums. And that thing got a lot of play. Like I'm interested to see, and I'm pretty sure, knowing you the way that I know you, you're probably not going to name an album that I didn't have. So I don't think you come in whack. Your albums won't be as strong, but I don't think you come in whack. Now I'll let you know if you pick an album that I didn't have.
Okay.
And if you pick an album I didn't have, then that might mean you're whack.
Come on now.
All right, my number 9. My number 9 is somewhat controversial. And it's not controversial because of the album, because the album is a dope album. It's an incredible album. It's the reason why I say it's controversial is because of where I have it. I have it at 9. I know a lot of people, and this just shows you the depth of 1996 because I have it at 9, and I know a lot of people who would have it at 1. I'm talking about the aforementioned "All Eyes on Me" by Tupac. I have it this low because I I love these other albums better than I love this album. And I love this album. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again because it's worth repeating on this podcast. All Eyes on Me, I think the mistake that they made was they made it a double CD.
I agree.
Because the majority of the songs on the second half of the second CD are filler songs. They're not good songs. They're songs that if you listen to them long enough, you'll like them, I guess, but they're not bangers like that. But
I know some diehard Pac fans that really don't like All Eyes on Me.
Yeah, I mean, like, then there's some people like that, and I love it. But that first disc, oh man, you put it on and you just hit shuffle and you riding. You know what I'm saying? And it's a couple of joints on the second, because if I'm not mistaken, California Love is on the second second album. But I think and that was the move or the wave, if you will, to do the double CDs. But I will say this: as much as I love that album, like I said, a lot of those songs are filler songs. However, if they had made this a single disc, this could have gone down as one of the greatest albums of all time. It's
Don't you hate that? Don't you hate that though?
They messed it up. That? Yeah.
Like I know, you're 96, but I just want to move it to like 2018 when Drake put out Scorpion.
Oh no, Lord.
But I'm just saying, like, he decided to go the Pac route and do double disc, and I was just like, this shit is ass, dog.
He should have done a half a disc.
I would say half a disc. I felt like,
I'm not a Drake fan, so I'm gonna listen to you because I never heard Scorpion and I'll never hear it. So
yikes. Okay. All I was gonna say is that album was just one extra album too long. I feel like he could have just made
tough.
But and I've seen other artists do that, where they put out double albums and you'd be like, if you would have just picked some from here and some from there, some from there, you might actually have a classic,
Jay-Z,
or a good album.
Jay-Z, Big, they both did the same thing. Nas too, that was the wave. And I know, for record sales purposes, I understand why they did it. And these albums still sold. I mean, Pac, I don't know how he sold a gazillion albums of this particular album, but just from a fan, a huge Tupac fan, I would have preferred one disc. And if it was one disc, we may be talking about this as the greatest album of all time.
We just might. And it's unfortunate that kind of stuff really happens, because I think wasn't this also just like his little ploy to get out of death row too, and then Suge just like,
well, I think he was at the time he was making a lot of songs or whatever like that, just paying off his debt to death row. So but I don't know what went into the song selection process. And it's not that they're bad songs. They're just, some of them are just filler songs, and they're not, with the concept and the flow of the album.
Well, I was just talking about in terms of him like fulfilling his album deal.
Yeah. I don't know, because I'm not sure how many albums, because the contracts at Death Row were kind of shady. So
yes.
I don't know, man. Pac, he recorded a lot of music, so he might still be on Death Row Records, to be honest. I don't know how many albums he was contractually bound to do, but we do know that he was trying to get off the label and start his own label, if you will, by the time that he was murdered. What you got for number 8?
Number 8, NORE's debut album, NORE. Bad from TV, Super Thug, A Body in the Trunk.
Body in the Trunk. I love that beat. Yeah, man.
And in the self-titled song, NORE, but Body in the Trunk, goddamn it. Look, I have been and it's so funny because I have been a Nori fan for so long and I never even knew it, because 98, 2000, he was hot. You know what I'm saying? These are all, if you're paying attention to the 98, songs that I'm picking in the albums, these are commercial box office, number one songs, number one albums. And that was like Nori's, like, how can I say, I told you so? Like, because we know like a good part of the War Report is Nori, you know, and then he did it by himself and not only gave us an amazing posse cut with Banned from TV, which was like on everybody's album, you know what I'm saying? And the story behind Banned from TV, you know, is just so amazing on how it was just supposed to be Nori in nature, you know, and then all of a sudden Big Pun comes in, you know, Cam comes in, Kissing Styles, like just the whole, like when I think of like Def Jam in their prime, I have to put the NORE album on there because that's all Leor Cohen, you know, that's all that right there. Super Thug, you know, Pharrell integrating himself, you know, with the thugs, with the real hood niggas. Come on, man.
Okay. Yeah, man. Great album. But like I said, you're 3 for 3 so far because every one that you've named, I have. So yeah, you hadn't come whack yet. They're not the strongest albums I've named, but hey, you're on your way. You're on your way. You're not winning. You're not winning.
All right.
My number 8. Got to take it to Shaolin. Wu-Tang Clan.
Tiger Style.
We are talking about one of the dopest solo projects to come out of the Wu camp. Arguably the best solo album from Ghostface Killah. Yes, I'm talking about none other than 1996's Iron Man.
I knew you was gonna pick that.
Listen,
I knew you was gonna pick that.
If you weren't outside, you don't understand. That album was everything to everybody. I know people who didn't even like Wu-Tang that was rocking to Iron Man. Man, listen, cold ass album. Love it. Still bump it to this day.
Actually, I love this. I love everything about Ghost. He's my favorite member in the Wu. Sometimes it goes between, you know, Ray. It just it's like a coin flip, you know. It's so funny. Controversial opinion. I love Supreme Clientele.
Dope. Crazy dope.
Like, are we gonna talk? Like, there's gonna be, nobody's really had the conversation on how Supreme Clientele gave Wu-Tang an extra breath, you know, some more legs before it eventually died out. But that goddamn Iron Man.
Yeah, man.
Daytona 500, I played it like over and over and over and over and over and over again. I played that. What's let me see. Hold on. You got me pulling up. Oh God, Fish.
Yeah, Cam A. Come on, man. I mean, I don't have to, you know, the thing about it is, Doug, I don't even, and I like that you're doing this. You're naming the songs out there. I don't even have to name the songs out the album. The people, when I say the name of the album, they know.
All That I Got Is You. Yeah.
Plus
I'm
the
not
music.
even a Mary fan. Yeah.
Come on, man. Okay. That's what we doing over here. Okay. That's what we doing on this side.
Okay. All right.
All right. You're at where you at? 6?
7.
Yeah, no, 7. You're at 7.
Number 7. This was a tough one for me.
Oh.
But it's gonna make the list because it had to make the list.
Uh-oh.
DMX, Flesh of My Flesh.
Okay.
Blood of My Blood. What do you think? Who do you think I am, Kyle?
Man, I didn't.
You think I work for Complex? What's going on?
You kind of greasy for a second.
No, and it's because I hate that I had to put this album at 7. Because obviously, you know, the other album that came out, you know, it's the better one. But, you know, like, I love X. He's literally a part of every single, he's literally one of the reasons on why I am into hip hop, you know, point blank period. You know, while Kyle was doing the nasty, to DMX songs, okay, I was trying to figure out why was this man barking like a dog at 7 years old, and why were the beats so goddamn loud? Okay, I tell this story all the time on my pod, okay, on how my introduction to DMX was when my cousin from Brooklyn stayed with us for a summer, and we all went to a church function, came back, we hear DMX music as soon as we get out the car, and it's coming from our apartment, and we're on the 5th floor. You know what I'm saying? And we can hear DMX smelling some fried fish, just some niggas from Brooklyn doing Brooklyn shit. You know what I'm saying? But yes.
Okay.
Flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood.
Great album. Great album. Again, rest in peace to DMX, man. It hurts to even say that because that cat should be here. Dope album. Again, another one that I had. Where we at? We at 6. No. I'm at 7.
Yes, you're at 7 right now.
All right, so 7. Whew. Listen. What's interesting about this group and that I picked for number 7 is that this album almost didn't happen. Their debut album came out and it flopped. And let me tell you something about the mid 90s. For a lot of artists, you had one shot. I mean, like if you didn't, it was literally hit or miss. Yeah, these labels, they give you the money to go and make a song or go make an album.
Big budget.
If you could get a big budget, but guess what? If it didn't hit, you were done. You were done. It wasn't no coming back. It wasn't no, hey, let us run it back one more time. Nothing, none of that. So their debut album, Blunted on Reality, flopped. And they went back in the studio and carved out one of the greatest albums of that particular year of 1996. I'm talking about none other than the Fugees. The album is titled The Score. And this was, in essence, the launch of Lauryn Hill, the launch of Wyclef Jean. Crazy album, top to bottom. A lot of crossover appeal, a lot of street appeal. Love it. Still love it to this day.
Solid pick.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm doing over here, man. Just what I say, bang.
It's a solid pick. Yeah. I mean, if you punch it like that, Lord help us all.
I mean, I'm trying not to hit the mic.
Okay. I was about to say, you know what I'm saying. I don't want you to hurt yourself. Okay, please don't hurt yourself, Kyle. All right,
what you got at 6?
We need you to be here. Number 6 comes from my guy, somebody who I realized that I picked up a lot of my goofiness from. And he goes by the name of Big Pun. Capital Punishment. I mean, like, what more can you say about this album? Again, I feel bad that it's not in my top 5 because Pun is literally in my top 5 because of Capital Punishment. And it's like, and my mom, she always jokes with me and calls me Mexican, because I used to like literally sing all of the like Big Pun's little Spanish songs as a kid and whatnot. And, we grew up in the Mexican neighborhood and whatnot. If you don't know, in Chicago, it's literally white, black, and then on the South side, it's nothing but black folks. Okay. And I ain't grew up on the South side. Okay. I grew up around Mexicans. Okay. And we playing Big Pun all the time. All right. And literally a flow that cannot be imitated or mimicked to this day. Because this is the era that we're living right now is so scary because everybody's literally biting each other's flows. And last time I checked, you get canceled for that shit in the 90s. Last time I checked, Kyle, you could correct me if I'm wrong.
Facts.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not even canceled. You might get beat up.
Straight up. Yeah. But they couldn't duplicate his flow, his style. This album was like so powerful. And as a kid, I always would play this song on the boombox when moms and dad would take away the TV from me. That's how my love of hip hop started. Literally recording Big Pun songs on cassette, secret, in disguise with the lights off. You know, that's how real my shit is, man.
Hey man, so, hey, that's hip hop heads. We got to find a way. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Great pick, great album. I still got the CD here in my house, man. That joint is crazy. Rest in peace to Big Pun too. And I just remember like listening to it, and I was thinking, okay, well he's Fat Joe's guy. He should be okay. And then when I heard it, I was like, this is crazy. Like I forgot all about Fat Joe.
literally.
Let me see. All right, so it's 6. I'm gonna surprise some people with 6 because really, if you look at my list from 7 on down, I could make a case for all of them being number 1. That's just how dope 96 is. And there are going to be a strong faction of people that would say that about 96, that each of these albums that I'm going to pick, maybe with the exception of 1, but from 7 on down, yeah, could be number 1. But my number 6 is the sophomore album from one of the greatest MCs to ever live. It Was Written by Nas. Here's the funny thing. For as dope and as crazy as Illmatic is, I've actually run across people who think that It Was Written was better.
It's the wildest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, but you know what? I at first I couldn't believe
like that.
Yeah. I couldn't believe it at first, but then, you know, you also had, but what I found is there's a common thread, at least the people that I've talked to, there's a common thread as far as the age and their experience with hip hop, where they kind of fall into that line where It Was Written was, for some, it was their introduction to hip hop. So if It Was Written was your introduction to hip hop, just personally, I still would have gone back and probably fallen in love with Illmatic, but you know, they think that Illmatic, I mean, It Was Written was better. So, you know, I ain't gonna argue with you about your favorites. But nonetheless, crazy album. Wasn't the sophomore jinx. Honestly, for some hip hop heads, it pissed them off because, you know, it was more commercial than Illmatic was. They were expecting like an Illmatic 2, but incredible album from Nas. You can't go wrong with Illmatic or It Was Written, but It Was Written, one of the greatest albums of 1996, hands down.
Fair enough. And I'm really not even an It Was Written kind of guy, but I understand. I'm really not. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You know, I'm one of those some people call it ignorant purists, where it's just like Illmatic or nothing. You know, at this point.
I understand.
You know, that's just where I'm at in my life. You know, I've grown to accept It Was Written, but it's always Illmatic or nothing for me. This album would not have cracked my top 10 if I was doing 96, if I'm just being honest. But maybe 10. It would be in a fighting spot for 10. Yes. Yeah. It would be in a fighting spot for 10. It would. I'm not even going to lie to you. Most Def and Talib Kweli, Black Star.
There you go. Now you're talking.
We in the top 5 land now. Yes,
top
come
5.
on.
You gotta bring some smoke. So yeah, I like that smoke right there.
Most Def, love that joint. Talib, 1, 2, literally.
Most Def and Talib Kweli.
Like they were a part of an era of hip hop. They represented for the people who were tired of hearing the gangster shit. Long story short, let's just say that and end it right there. You know,
Facts.
That's it.
Yeah, man. Banger. I mean, like that one was a for me, it was a fresh breath into hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that we needed because hip hop by the time 98 rolled around was going in a different direction. So yeah. There's nothing bad I can say about that album, man. I love it. I love it. My number 5. Let's go to the streets, man. The streets is calling, man. The streets is calling. I'm going to Brick City. Reginald, Noble. The waters are muddy. I'm talking Reggie Noble, my number 5, Muddy Waters. Classic hip hop album. Listen.
Kyle.
Listen.
I am shocked.
Listen. I know because there's a lot of people that's probably listening that would have this in their top 10, but they're not going to have it at 5. I got it at 5 because it's one of my personal favorites from that year. There's some people that might swap it for All Eyes on Me and have, whatever. But this album is in everybody's top 10. It's in my personal top 5. Muddy Waters from my man, Redman. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Super underrated.
Very much so.
Super underrated. He's still probably the most underrated.
One of the,
like rappers ever. Like hands down. It's a crime to me that people don't understand Reggie's impact. Like when people are like, well, what do you mean with Redman? And I be like, Eminem has said it over and over again that Redman is his favorite rapper. Eminem has constantly said that he has gotten his flows, his rap styles from rappers from New Jersey, Redman and Treach.
Yep. Speaks very highly of him.
Like, what more can we say about that?
Mm-hmm. What you got it for?
4. Jay-Z Volume 2. Hard Knock Life. This was the album that catapulted him that crossed him over,
Yep.
This was the album, where he finally learned the formula. Okay, kids? You have to develop your sound. You have to craft your sound. Because there was a time where Jay-Z sounded like a whole bunch of other rappers who were rapping very fast, and he had to switch it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time where some people would say that Jay-Z was sounding a lot like some of the greatest rappers of all time, and he had to switch it up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Hard Knock Life. Say what you want. It may not be in some people's top 3 Hove albums, but you can't deny it. You can't deny it.
No. Not
like I know people who has Volume 2 at like 6. I think they're hating. I just think they're just one of those people who has to be so underground, where they can't even understand his greatness. That's it.
I mean, it's a great album. I mean, like, I don't even know what more you could, and that's not something that you have to convince people of. At least you shouldn't have.
Well, you know how old I am, so who you think I'm talking to? They look at me like I'm old, Kyle.
Oh man. All right, so that was your number 4. So my number 4. Listen, I mentioned it a little earlier. De La Soul, Stakes is High. Wow. Listen. This album is so cold that it don't even make any sense, man. This album for De La Soul was pivotal because it came at a pivotal part of their career, but I can make a case that it's just as good or as their best album. I mean, like, this album was incredible. The production was incredible. Skits, obviously the bars. Yeah, man, I never get tired of listening to this album. Again, another classic, I think. Stakes is High, De La Soul, man, number 4.
It was a full album. It's one of those albums that you can consider a full album with the skits, the rhymes, the comedy, the beat selection. Dilla. That's all you got to say.
Hey, that's all you know. Nothing else needs to be said.
That's it. So I'm not even mad at it. We'll talk once we're done with this list, because you know I still want this. I still want these 3 albums on streaming, but that's another combo.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, so you're at 3, man. Top 3. What you got?
This was very hard for me.
It's not hard.
No, it was very hard for me. It was very hard.
I'm listening.
It was very hard for me. Outcast Aquemini.
That's where you slipped up, Doug.
Nah.
That's where you slipped up.
Nah, man.
It shouldn't be number 3.
But man. It's got it. This is a hard pick. It was hard for me to sit it at 3. I'm an AT-Aliens guy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm AT-Aliens all the way through. Okay. The only reason, like, Skewed on the Barbecue is my top 3 Raekwon features of all time.
I was at the video.
The Art of Storytelling. Rosa Parks. Spotty Yachty. Yeah, it's gotta go at 3, man.
Okay.
It's gotta go at 3.
I'm a little partial because I actually sat in on a studio session. Got a chance to meet Dre and Big Boy, so I'm a little partial, but yeah, love that album, man. Love that album. But
great album. It's a classic. It's still a classic.
No question. 5 mics in the source. Come on now. Come on.
Pull up the Bible.
My number 3, you just mentioned it. AT-Aliens. Come on, man. I mean, it's and I've done a podcast on this. We've go back
about this.
Yeah, we talked about it. People go back and forth about which one was better, AT-Aliens or Aquemini. The answer is Aquemini.
Wow.
But for this discussion, my number 3 from 96, AT-Aliens, man. Love. I mean, and you know, and I mentioned it to my man Matt. Shout out to Matt B. When we did the podcast about it, like, it's to the point, especially over the last 5 years, like when I listen to these albums, because I listen to these albums often. When I listen to them back to back. Like, I don't ever listen to one and don't listen to the other. It's always 1, 2, 2, 1, like that. So, and that's not the hometown bias or anything like that. I mean, this is a cold ass album, Southern classic, man. So yeah, I'm rolling with AT-Aliens for my number 3. All right, man. We're at 2.
We're going back. We're at 2, and we're going back to the dog.
Okay.
We're going back to the dog.
I couldn't have put the dog at 2, but I hear you.
Look at him. It ain't your pick, nigga. All right. Number 2, DMX. It's dark and hell is high. 1 mil. 1 mil. Okay. A milli. Literally. Like, today's artists are excited about selling 300K. 400K. 700K. Some will call that a classic these days.
Right.
But when you sell it, come on, man. When you were selling the number of units that DMX was selling in 1998, what are we fucking talking about here? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Literally, all of his classics sits on that album. 90% of those.
How's it going down? That's my shit, man. How's it going down? That's my shit.
Like, literally. And I'm just naming, like, the singles that everybody knows. Rough Riders Anthem. Get at me, dog. Stop being greedy. Niggas done started some.
Listen. But man, that album it still rolls, man. I mean,
It
like you put it
does.
on and you just ride to it. You don't even have to. You just press play. That's it.
And and these are albums that you will never hear again.
No.
You know what I'm saying in terms of
And
like
this
style.
is his debut album.
Debut.
I know. And please believe, like for most of us, we had never heard of this dude before. Never. I mean, there was some hip hop heads that did. Personally, when this album came out, I didn't know who this dude was, but I know he was bad as hell. I was like, yo, who is this? Man, listen. When I say people forget, and I had to remind some people when DMX did his verses with Snoop. Was it last year?
Mm-hmm.
There was a point in time where DMX ran hip hop.
Yes.
And even on the Hard Knock Life tour.
Yes.
And Jay-Z's admitted this publicly.
Yes.
There's a reason why DMX went on last.
Yes.
Jay-Z was like, I can't follow that up. This dude got the crowd jumping 1 minute. The next minute he's in prayer. The next minute he's crying, and everybody, you got 20,000 people crying, thugs. He's like, I can't compete with that. He's like, nah, I got to go on before him. He's like, because he needs to go last because nobody can follow that up. And those are his exact words. Yeah, so this album, I'm with you, Doug. Yeah, it's great. Again, I can't. I would put Equipment out over there, but this is your list. So, but great pick. No argument for me whatsoever. My number 2. We got to go back to the 215. We got to go back to the 215. The legendary Roots crew, Philadelphia Half-Life. Listen, again, a personal favorite. I was just listening to this. I listen to this album like every Friday. This album and the number 1 album, I listen to them every Friday. It's just my joint, man. I mean, there are probably some people that have this at 1. There's some people might not have it. Probably some people having it just at 5. But listen, this album is one of the best albums from 1996, hands down. So, yeah, man, that's my number 2. All right, what you got at 1, man?
And look, everybody knows what it is. All right.
Well, tell them for the lames in the back who don't know.
Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
It's not a hip hop album, but
it is a hip hop album. So we doing this. Okay, all right.
I mean, but you know what? This is your list. I'm not.
You don't think it's a hip hop album?
It's not a hit. Doug, how many songs does she rhyme on?
She rhymes on some songs. But
3. You see the number for those who can't see. I got the number 3 up on the camera. She rhymes on 3 songs. The rest she's singing. It's a neo soul album with rapping on it. It's not a hip hop.
Lost Ones, X Factor, Doo Wop.
She doesn't rhyme on X Factor, does she? No,
not X Factor. Lost Ones.
Lost Ones, Doo Wop, and
Every Ghetto, Every City.
Yeah, Every Ghetto, that's it.
No,
3 songs.
No,
that's it, Doug. Look at the track listing.
No.
Looking back. Yeah, that's Every Ghetto, Every City. Those are the 3 songs. Dog, everything.
This shit is hip hop, but it's a blend.
Hey, I want y'all to listen.
It's a blend, and I keep telling people this, and I will go to the grave. I will go to the grave over this shit, right? I will go to the grave. This shit is hip hop.
I just want to point
neo soul.
I just want to point
this R&B.
I just want to point this out for those of you who can't see it and you're listening to the audio. My man Doug over here, Douglas from the north side of Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He was looking at his phone
and
he's looking at the track listing and he's doing this little thing with his fingers and he's naming the songs on the album that she's rapping on. And I said that it's only 3. And he's looking at the track listing, and then his hands slow down, and he comes to he realizes that I am correct.
No,
she only raps on 3 songs.
No, she doesn't.
How many? And it's like what, 15, 16 tracks? If that might be more than that.
I was gonna give you 6, but I didn't want to go down this rabbit hole.
I mean, but if listen, this is Doug's list. I can't argue with his list. This is I said come with the best 10 hip hop albums, and he put an R&B album at the top of his. I mean, hey, I don't know what y'all want me to tell y'all. I don't know what y'all want me to tell y'all. But I love it. I love it. Okay. And y'all know, anybody listening to this podcast knows I love L Boogie. So it's okay. My number one, I mean, is actually rapping on it. Sean Corey Carter, Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, man, that's the joint.
Really?
Yeah, that's the number one. 96 classic. Which, and I always say this about this album, and I want to make this clear, particularly for those who may not have been around, or you might have been like Doug, you might have been in 7th grade when this album came out. When this album came out, nobody, I mean, I don't say nobody, very few people had it. Like when it dropped in June of 96, very few people had it. I think I got it like maybe a month or two later. And it didn't sell a whole lot of records. You know, it was one of those albums that, and also when it came out, nobody was like, yo, this is a classic. Lying, don't lie. Nobody said that. What it was that people heard it, and then the more and more they listened to it, after a while, it just kind of grew. And then it was like, after a couple of months, it was like, oh shit, this is banging. Like that. It grew into classic status. It didn't blow the doors off of people initially. Like, you know, like how now when people listen to an album comes out Friday at midnight, and by, you know, by 8 a.m. people calling it a classic. Now, it wasn't like that. But yeah, that's my joint. Like I said, I listen to it every Friday. Still bangs to this day, top to bottom. There's no need for me to name the song.
What's your favorite song? What's the best song?
Can I Live?
Mine is 22 Twos.
Can I Live? And then probably Can I Live, Brooklyn's Finest, and Dead Presidents.
Yeah, mine goes 22 Twos, Brooklyn's Finest, and Dead Presidents.
There you go. And see, like, I remember when the video came out for Dead Presidents, and I saw the video, and I still wasn't really familiar with who he was. And then I'm listening to him. He said, partner, I'm still spending money from 88. I was like, oh shit, that's a bar. I mean, I didn't say that's a bar, but that was like, that line caught me. I was like, damn, I'm still spending money. I was like, and he was flossy in the video. He was in a Lexus. He was in a helicopter. And we was like, okay. Like even when you go back to his first video, he portrayed a guy that had money. And, you know, back in 96, that's what we kind of respected. So, but he didn't just portray a guy that had money. He had money. So it was like, oh shit, he's talking about whatever he's talking about. He lived it. So yeah, let me run them down for y'all. The albums. Like I said, kind of top heavy in 09, 8, but great list, Doug. Great list. Doug's number 10, 400 Degrees. Number 9, A Moment of Truth. Number 8, Nori. Number 7, Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood. Number 6, Capital Punishment. Number 5, Black Star. Number 6, Volume 2 from Jay-Z. Number 3, Aquemini. Number 2, It's Dark and Hell is Hot, DMX. And number 1,
he's such a hater. If she's rapping on the album, it's a hip hop album, and I don't want to hear anything else from all y'all.
The miseducation of something. The miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
If she's rapping on the album, it's a hip hop album.
Okay, yeah, but if Jay-Z has 3 songs on Hard Knock Life where he's playing a banjo, is it a country album?
What? That's a terrible.
That's a Hard Knock Life for us. It's the Hard Knock Life for us.
Terrible comparison.
So let me give y'all the hip hop side of things. Number 10, Il Nana, Foxy Brown. Number 9, All Eyes on Me, Tupac Amaru Shakur. Number 8, Ghost Face Killer, Iron Man. Number 7, The Score, Fugees. Number 6, It Was Written by Nas. Number 5, Muddy Waters by Reginald Noble, Redman. Number 4, Stakes is High, De La Soul. Number 3, Outkast, ATLiens. Number 2, Illadelph, Half-Life by The Roots. And number 1, Reasonable Doubt by Jay-Z. All right, so there it is. Before we get out of here, Doug, is there anything that you want to say to the people? You know, you want to defend your list. You want to critique my list.
Oh, I ain't gotta explain nothing to none of y'all niggas. You know, first and foremost, I'm just say it right there. If you want to, come holler at me and ask for smoke, you know what I'm saying? Just type in at NorthSide Doug on Twitter and Instagram. Niggas know where I'm at. I'm really shocked that you left out hardcore.
Lil Kim?
Yeah.
Nah, it couldn't make my, and I didn't. I liked it. I didn't love that album though. I didn't love it. I thought it was decent, but I didn't love it because I was always into Fox, man. I really wasn't into Kim like that. I thought Kim was okay. I mean, if she came on, I wasn't going to turn it off, but I wasn't into hardcore like that. A lot of people, when I give them my top, because my top 10 for 96 hasn't changed. People mention The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't make the cut. I couldn't find room for it. But The Shining was a cold ass album. I mean, like it's some right on the outside of 10 that's right there.
I would have swapped Kim for Foxy.
Yeah, see, if you like Foxy, I mean, if you like Kim, yeah, you probably would have. I just
feel like that album just had more.
It wasn't a better album though. Honestly, it wasn't. Foxy's album is a dope ass album.
It is a dope album. I'm not saying it's not. I just feel like
but you know what? You probably would have switched it because of preferences. If you prefer Kim over Foxy, you probably would. I mean, excuse me, Foxy over. I'm sorry, I said it right first time. Kim over Foxy, you probably would.
That and then also Impact. I just feel like hardcore just had a bigger impact, but yeah.
They're about the same, to be honest.
Yeah,
all right, from what I can remember.
I'm not mad at Foxy because I really do rock with her, and then I really thought you were going to put ATLiens at number 1. This is very shocking.
Nah. It wasn't gonna make number 1.
I keep forgetting that you're more Equimini, than ATLiens. So that makes way more sense.
I thought when I looked at your list, I think, like I said, it's a really good list, really good, and I think 96. Again, 96 is better than 98. But I think the problem with 98 is like what I mentioned earlier. It's not that the albums are bad. These are really good albums. They're just top heavy. Like I said, if you start at 1, if you want to count 1, if you start at 1 and then come down, you start running out of gas at and I probably would have put. Flesh of My Flesh probably would have been in my top 5. But yeah, Nori, Moment of Truth, and Juvenile. And again, they're not bad albums, but they don't have the same like my last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They don't have that. Again, dope albums though. Not taking anything away.
And it hurt me to leave Money, Power, Respect out the list from the Locks, because that also came out in 98.
Yeah.
And the Locks are everything to me. They're my favorite rap group.
I probably would have replaced them with Juvenile. But, Juvenile, is that particular album resonates with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so, I feel you.
I just think of when we think of shifting culture, you have to throw in 400 Degrees.
Okay.
I just feel like that's just not mentioned enough in terms of the impact that Louisiana has had on hip hop.
Right.
You know.
Oh yeah. And I mean, it's not to be denied. And like I mentioned earlier, it catapulted them, and took a lot of wind out of the sail of No Limit. So, so yeah, folks, that's it. We're going to get out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up. I think I'm gonna do a Twitter poll like what me and Eclectic will do when we have when we do our fantasy drafts and stuff. Shout out to my boy E. And you guys can decide, if you think his list is better than mine, or if you think my list is better than his. But before we get out of here, most importantly, Doug, tell the people where they can find you, where they can check out your podcast, where they can hit you up on social media.
Yeah. So again, Kyle, I do appreciate you for
for sure.
Allowing me to come on to your platform, while you disrespect me, but it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We let things slide. We family, you know what I'm saying? No hard feelings at all. But yeah, man, you can follow me, Doug, on Twitter and Instagram at NorthSide Doug. I am the one and only host of the Struggle Play podcast. Every Monday, I break down songs that embodies an artist's passion, pleasure, and pain. So songs that I've broken down, let's say, for example, I've broken down songs from her. I do R&B songs. I've done songs like Damage, Hard Place. I've done some Jay-Z songs, Can I Live? I've done some Nas songs, any and every single thing that embodies struggle into a song, I break it down. But then I also craft an entire episode around it. And I've had Kyle on the show several times. We've broken down Elevators, with the homie J Book. We've broken down Danger from Erykah Badu. You know what I'm saying? We've done Ready or Not from the Fugees. That was my end of the year wrap up show.
What album was that on? Ready or Not? What album was that?
And you can also follow the Struggle Play podcast on Instagram and Twitter as well, at the Struggle Play podcast on Instagram, Twitter struggle_play. And then there's also a Patreon page as well, guys. Exclusive content, brand new episodes that you might not have heard. It's just like a little $5. You know what I'm saying? Just support, help along the way. I'm into dope shit. All right. I'm a little younger, but I know my shit. All right, Kanye West, I've done multiple Kanye West songs. I've done multiple J. Cole songs. I've done multiple Wu-Tang Clan songs. And, Kyle, he so happened to indulge. And sometimes I put the little old school head on, a little something. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, oh, who's that? Who's that young man? But yeah, man, that's what I'm into. So yes, please, podcast is everywhere. Anywhere, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Google, you name it, is there, man. But yeah, thank you again, Kyle, for having me on.
Oh show. Man, anytime, man. You I mean, it's this podcast was like the OG bringing the young boy along and just tapping him up a little bit, just tapping him up, just schooling just a little bit, And I really got the feeling that, at some point in time that there's somebody listening to this podcast is younger than us, that, a couple of years from now, you'll be doing the same thing, bringing them on your podcast and tapping them up and schooling them a little bit. But yeah, make sure y'all check out and subscribe to the Struggle Play podcast. As Doug mentioned, I've been on there before a few times, and this will not be the last time that he'll be on this podcast, because, we love to get on here and talk hip hop, and smart brother. Anybody knows it. It just ain't. I'm not just gonna have any old body on here. You gotta know what you're talking about. And given the fact that he's young, I respect his opinion. And even when I disagree, I still see the value in it. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, check his podcast out, follow him on social media. Make sure that if you haven't done so already, maybe this is your first time listening, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast, the 12 Kyle podcast. We have a new episode that drops every Thursday at midnight without fail. The podcast is on all major platforms. You can find it anywhere you get podcasts. From time to time, we will be dropping bonus episodes on Sundays at midnight as well. Also, there's a YouTube channel where you can see this video if you like, or if you don't want to listen to the audio. Go to youtube.com/ spell it out TWELVEKYLE, youtube.com/ 12 Kyle. That's going to do it for us. So for my man Northside Doug, I'm your boy 12 Kyle. This has been the latest edition of the 12 Kyle episode called 96 versus 98. That's going to do it for us. We'll catch you guys next time. 5 G's.